what month is it? It's March, right, guys?
Well,
It's,
madness.
it's the absolute best month of the year, so let's get right into it. We got the Sweet 16 coming up in 2 days. So we're going to get it started right off, and I want to hear you guys' opinions on some of the biggest stars in college basketball. We're going to get started off with Houston versus Duke. What are you guys' opinions on the game?
I have Houston winning this game despite barely surviving against Texas A&M. I'll admit Duke played incredible against JMU. I just don't trust them to match that type of performance they did in that game, because Houston has such a great defense and they have more high caliber players than Duke does, in my honest opinion.
I'm rolling with Duke on this one. Jared McCain put up, 30-something?
Yep.
Maybe 30 on the dot in their game against JMU. 8 3-pointers to his name. And yeah, Houston has a lot of great weapons. Jamal Shed was just recently named a Naismith Player of the Year finalist. That was earlier today, which is, of course, impressive. He's been great all year. But Houston got into a lot of foul trouble by being overly aggressive on the defensive end in their game the other night against Texas A&M. And I think that Duke can do a good job of exploiting that. Cal Filipowski down low is going to do a good job of getting people to jump, getting some fouls called against him. Same thing with McCain and the rest of the guards spread out around the perimeter. They're going to get Houston into some foul trouble, cause them to bench a couple players earlier than they think they want to, and exploit them throughout the middle of that game until they have to bring those players back in and eventually cause a couple foul outs, just like Texas A&M did.
Yeah. If you were going to ask me at the beginning of this tournament, I was going to say Houston 10 times out of 10, but Duke is looking like one of the best teams in this tournament. Outside of UConn and Purdue, who just smoked their two opponents, Duke has been looking like the best team. So with that being said, I'm going to have to go with Duke. Jared McCain's been balling. Cal Filipowski, he's a big man. He's going to be able to, cause trouble for any defense. So I'm going to go with Duke this game.
Yeah, my opinion, I give the edge to Houston, honestly. I feel like they're the better team offensively and defensively. I think Duke relies way too much on the three ball.
Yeah.
I mean, Jared McCain set the Duke record for 8 threes in a game in a tournament.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can count on Jared McCain, a freshman, to do that again against the
He's been
best
good
team
this
in the
year.
nation.
He shows out when it matters, though.
I mean, when it comes down to it, I think it's going to come down to star power. I trust Jamal Sheed more than I trust Jared McCain and Kyle Filipowski.
Yeah, and those two players will be the X factors in this game, because whoever plays better in that game will win at the end of the day.
Also, coaching-wise, are we ready to trust Shea yet? I don't know.
Not yet. He hasn't made a resume yet. He hasn't built the resume yet. But in due time.
Yeah, I mean, who do you guys think are the biggest X factors within this game? Other than Jared McCain and Jamal Sheed, if you want to go.
Probably just Filipowski. He's 7 foot. It's very important, especially in March Madness, to have a guy that's close to 7 foot. I mean, you see Purdue with Zach Edey, Creighton. I went to their game. That game was amazing. They have a bunch of tall people. Like having that 7 footer is massive in this tournament.
Yeah, I don't know if there's another answer to go with. I'd say Filipowski. Honestly, he's going to be a difference maker down low.
Yeah.
See if he can cause some trouble, cause some chaos for Houston.
Yeah, I agree with you. It will be Filipowski, in my honest opinion. He has to match the physicality of Houston's defense.
Absolutely.
And if he does that, I think Duke will win this game as well.
There we go. You get behind that. All right, next up, we got UConn and San Diego State. Who do you guys got? UConn's the best team in the nation right now. San Diego State, they're looking kind of hot. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm having UConn because the first round they won 91-52, and the second round they won 75-58. When you're a 1 seed, you're supposed to do that in the first 2 rounds. Yep. And you see Purdue do it, but the other 2 1 seeds, they've been winning, but not as by much. And I think UConn, and it might be a little biased because I do have them winning, shocker to everybody. But UConn has been blowing the doors off teams, and I feel like it's going to stay like that.
Yeah, I got UConn winning this game. I mean, they're just too talented. I mean, they have demolished their opponents, like you said. They have a veteran coach in Dan Hurley, and they have players who came from that championship last year, like Tristan Newton, who had that championship mentality, and they can do everything. They can shoot, they can defend, they can. So I'm expecting a blowout in this game, to be honest.
A blowout. This is a rematch of last year's championship game. So this is 2 teams coming in with experience all throughout their roster. Guys who stayed for the sole purpose at San Diego State of winning a championship. Guys at UConn who have won 1 championship, looking to add a couple more onto their resume. I think this might be one of the best, if not the best game we're going to get between now and the national championship. Maybe a Final Four game, if there's a cool Duke-UNC matchup, could bring a little bit of chaos. But I think up until we get to that final stage, up until the championship game and into the Final Four, I think this just might be the best matchup we're going to get. This is 2 teams with experience, 2 teams who know what they're doing in these big stages, who got here before. I think the edge still does go to UConn. San Diego State's put up a good fight. They did have a couple question marks in their first round win over UAB. UConn obviously has breezed through their opponents so far, including a Northwestern team who many people thought could put up a good fight. But I think the edge still does go to UConn here. They've got, the championship. They both have championship, rosters, championship material throughout their lineups. But UConn's got the edge. They're riding hot right now.
Yeah.
I'm rolling UConn.
Yeah, I just want to get into the point you said about this being the most exciting matchup. I don't know if I'm ready to say that. I mean,
Yeah.
we got a lot of good matchups.
Of course.
Yeah, I don't think this.
Coming up, we got Purdue Gonzaga might be my personal favorite. I don't know about you guys. But we also got UNC
Can't stand
Bama.
watching Purdue play basketball.
Creighton, Tennessee. Creighton, Tennessee is a
Creighton,
great
Tennessee,
game.
If Creighton plays as good as they should play, it'll be a good matchup.
I think Dalton next, he should be the player of the year. I really do. I think he is.
Yeah, he does carry Tennessee that much.
I am not ready to give it to Zach Edey. I don't like him as a player. I think
he wasn't
I mean,
set
he
up
trust me,
for
he's a great player, but at the same time, it's like
For me, with Zach Edey, he's just big. Other than that, he can't do anything.
Doesn't move very well.
He is a paint merchant.
Oh, yeah, but
merchant.
sometimes in March Madness, that's all you need.
Yeah.
Is that tall guy just to get rebounds, just put up layups. Like,
Yeah, he gets points. He gets buckets. He gets rebounds.
In fact, I completely agree with you. Gonzaga Purdue is for me the best game of the
Yep.
Sweet 16 because I think this will be the game where we find out how good Zach Edey is. Because Gonzaga has that size to counter Zach Edey, so it will be up to Purdue's guards to step up, and we'll find out how good Purdue is based on that.
I'm looking forward to the Iowa State-Illinois game. My roommate has Iowa State winning it all, and Illinois has just been balling. So this is going to be a very good game. And last time, Iowa State has a lot of impressive wins. I remember right before the tournament, they blew out Houston. I think they won by double digits, but I don't know by how much. And Illinois, they won the Big Ten championship, and they've just been balling this tournament. So I'm excited to see that matchup.
A note about Illinois and Iowa State. This matchup is also really intriguing because it's a matchup between the number one offense and the number one defense. So we're going to find out what's more important in this tournament, defense or offense.
Yep.
Use that.
All right, now next, you see him. These are two of the biggest stars in basketball, and women's college basketball, that is. So we're going to take a look at number 1 Iowa is playing number 5 Colorado this Thursday, and we all know Caitlyn Clark wants a championship. That's her goal. But do we think Colorado could take her out?
No chance. Iowa's just too good in my honest opinion. Even though they did not look well last night against West Virginia. I mean, they were tied with 3 minutes left in that game, and I was kind of getting scared they were going to lose that game.
Yep.
So even though I have my doubts about Iowa, I do think they will have the edge at the end of the night with this game. But the thing with Iowa is, after watching that game last night, I'm not even confident to say they're a Final Four team anymore.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because Caitlyn Clark has to carry this team all the time, and she can't do it all the time. Her supporting cast has to step up at some point if they want to be teams like South Carolina. So based on the way they're playing right now, I just don't think Iowa will get to the Final Four.
Yeah. Behind that.
I think Iowa will win this game. Caitlyn Clark, she's been balling for the last 2-3 years. She every night she goes in, it's consistent 25 with 5 threes. It's just amazing what she's doing. I think, especially the 3-ball adds up in college hoops in general, and I think with Caitlyn Clark's ability to shoot the 3-ball, I feel like that could help them get to a championship.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if they're going to go all the way. I think they do take this game over Colorado, but their next matchup, I'm sorry for looking ahead to their next matchup, could potentially be against LSU.
Yeah.
That LSU team, Angel Reese, of course, doing what she does. Kim Mulkey runs a great system down there at LSU. That's a challenge for anybody to face. They're coming back. They want that championship that they were, stripped of last year. They want it. They want to win badly, and I think that this is, the opportunity. This is the run that they're going to make to get there. They're going to get into that Final Four. I don't think they're going to have problems once they get into that Final Four. I think they're going to breeze through Iowa. They're just a much better squad all around. So while Iowa, I do think will take down this game, will take down Colorado, I think they're going to get stopped in their tracks when they play a very angry LSU team right now.
I don't know about, I do think LSU has a great chance of winning that game, but I just feel like Iowa, going in that game against LSU, they will have that mentality. We want revenge against LSU. They beat us last year. They will have more motivation than them. So I could see Iowa channeling that mentality to win that game. But
if you get Caitlyn Clark mad, you're going to win some games, and you're going to beat them. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to the other side of the bracket, we got Duke versus UConn. Paige Buckets. We call her Paige Buckets for a reason. What do you guys think? Will we see a rematch not a rematch, but will we see Paige Buckets versus Caitlyn Clark in the Final Four?
It will depend on Iowa if Iowa improves against Colorado or in the Elite Eight, because like Jeremy said, it will depend mostly if they beat LSU, because LSU is the defending champion. They're playing much better now, so it will depend mostly on that. And also, I gotta give Paige Buckers some credit here. I mean, she's a walking bucket, and like her comeback story is amazing after her torn ACL. If it wasn't for Clark, she would be gaining the same recognition as Clark is today, and I think she would be the best player in college in women's college basketball
Completely
today.
agree. I think if Paige didn't miss last season, I think she'd be right above Caitlyn Clark.
She might be in the league already if she doesn't do
Yep.
that, though.
Yeah.
I mean, these are two great squads. Of course, Becker, she had 32 in their win over Syracuse last time they played, or over Syracuse on Monday in their last game. And Reagan Richardson, who you see on the right there, put up 28 as Duke beat and upset Ohio State, who I'm not sure if you guys had watched Ohio State. They played here. Penn State played against them. They're a dang good squad. Lots of talent all throughout their roster. A great team, and they're very tough to beat, very tough to score on. And Duke and Reagan Richardson did that with what seemed like relative ease. There was upset watch. The game was close for a little while. Duke opened up a lead and kept that lead. And this is a scary Duke squad. I think Paige Beckers, Paige Buckets gets it done, but don't sleep on that Duke squad.
Yeah.
I mean, Ohio
You're
State.
sleeping on the Duke squad.
I mean, Ohio State did not go in good form to that tournament. I mean, they lost to Maryland in the Big Ten
Fair.
championship round.
Still a good.
In the
good
second
Ohio
round
State
of the
team.
Big Ten championship tournament, and I mean, after that, they didn't look well in their first game. So like, I'm not surprised Duke won that game, to be honest.
Yeah, I understand that, but